This cheese, I need some new cheese next week. I can't wait.
My undershirt is tiny.
So what you want to do?
Nothing. Just so if anybody comments on it, just know that I know that it's tiny.
Yeah, so don't leave it in the comments, because y'all know how y'all do.
It's an undershirt. It's tiny, tiny.
What's going on YouTube? It's Kevin and Mikkel. We are back with a new video. I want to say thank you to everyone who watched our videos last week.
We have the stupid table in the middle of us too.
Yes, because I just don't feel like moving the table. The table could just sit here for today. Everybody has been going crazy this past weekend over a video that went viral by James Wright. He posted on Facebook him eating Patty's LaBelle sweet potato pie. And I mean, he sold the fuck out that sweet potato pie. He sang, and he can really sing. And he just was doing all the different Patty songs throughout the 80s. He was just having himself a real good time. And everybody was sharing the video. You know, I didn't really see no negative comments about it. Everybody just like, how the fuck do I get this sweet potato pie? Now, the pies are sold exclusively at Walmart, and Walmart workers have been going crazy because normally, you know, they're not calling an answer about no goddamn pie, but everybody's been calling before they get in their cars, do you have the sweet potato pie? Or they might say, yes, we have the sweet potato pie. You get there, they don't have no more pies because people are buying these $3.49 pies, or $3.48 in bulk. Did I say $3.48? $3.48 in bulk. So it's just been hard to get these sweet potato pies. And then you see people all over Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and YouTube saying they got these pies. Some were saying how good the pie. The majority of the reviews I've seen, they have been good. And then I've seen some people like, no, it's just store-bought pies, such. But the craze of these sweet potato pies is making me want a sweet potato pie.
My coworker is supposed to buy one tomorrow. Well, today we're going to try it tomorrow at work.
Yeah, did you want to record it?
I mean, the whole recording it is kind of. I like to. If I do something like that, it should have been done last week when the video was. Now that this is a whole new week, it's kind of like, okay, we done laughed about it, and now.
Yes.
Just try it.
I want to try it. Now, one of Patti LaBelle's biggest fans.
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
It's funny because I've seen some people post videos and different people saying, "Oh, my mom's sweet potato pie is better than my grandma, my aunt's," and I'm thinking like, well, sweet potato pie is really not that hard to make. So it's not like, I mean, how much better can your mom's
butter,
grandma's
potato.
You know, like people always try to, oh, well, my grandma's is so much better. It's sweet potato pie. I mean, how hard could it be to make sweet potato pie?
I made sweet potato pie 3 years ago, believe it or not.
Trust me, I won't be eating nothing that your hands are.
And it was good, okay? And I don't even mess with sweet potato pie. But I had seen this video on YouTube with Shanice. Shout out to the singer Shanice. She was, we said her name two times in 2 videos. She had made this YouTube video of her going to the store and going to the supermarket and making these sweet potato pies, and her family went crazy. And she posted the recipe, and I made the recipe, and we ate them fucking pies. And it was good, but it was a whole lot of sugar.
I just think that if you can't, I don't cook. I don't cook. But some dishes should just be self-explanatory. Like, you know what I mean? Like, sweet potato pie to me is one of those things like, if you mess up on that, then like
you just can't cook.
You just can't cook.
Because if you can't cook eggs, then bitch, you really can't cook.
Yeah, and I can cook eggs. And that I can.
You better know how to make something, shit.
Yeah.
Can you fry bacon?
I've never done it before. But I'm sure, I mean, it's not hard. I've just never done it before.
Because who's doing it for you? So have y'all tried this sweet potato pie? I want somebody, listen, my birthday is this Friday. Happy early birthday to me. I'm not 31 yet, so I won't be going all out until I turn 31. I'll be crying and everything. But please find me a sweet potato pie, Patti LaBelle sweet potato pie. I don't even need a birthday cake. Y'all see I'm not going all out this year for my birthday. Like normally it's a big, fuck that. It's 31. I'll see y'all at 35 when that's when I can have my big celebration. But if y'all, I'm going to be downtown, in downtown Philadelphia. I will be bar hopping. So if you want to find me, tweet me, and I'll let you know where I'm at. If you can say happy birthday, we can take a shot or whatever. I just want to have a good time on Friday. Okay? So yeah. But bring me, if you could bring me one of them sweet potato pies from Patti LaBelle, I will appreciate it. So, but I really want to try it because everybody has been going crazy. And there was some... Look at this fucking thing. I got to clean it there. Somebody talking about Patti LaBelle made $2.3 million. Now, I don't believe that she made $2.3 million. It could have been more. I don't know how much she made. But I'm just, you know, I'm glad that people are buying these pies. But I'm hoping that that guy James, he gets a cut or something. Something besides a phone call from Patti LaBelle. He needs like VIP treatment to one of her shows, wherever he's from. You know, I think, you know, that's what I think. I think he deserves a check. Patti should cut him a check. That's what I think. Do you think he deserves a check? Or not?
I mean, he did. I mean,
because he's so.
I definitely do think that he should get to meet her, whatever. But I think he should only just get a check if he's on the payroll list. If you're not on the payroll list, then there's no need to get a check, because if that's the case, then every last one of us should get a check, because we promote the hell out of people's stuff all the time.
But he created a craze over these pies.
Yeah, but I mean,
you know, some people saying, yeah, I do wish that music could sell like that. Somebody go crazy about a goddamn album and everybody buy it.
What they should do to solidify a check for him is, now that you have this craze, what they should do is start promoting the. First of all, I didn't even know she had sweet potato pies until I saw this video. What they should do is make a commercial
with him.
And with her.
Then he can get a check.
And then he can get a check. But I don't think he should just get a check off of these YouTube videos.
Well, Patty gonna have to sell more than just pies.
I should get a check too from Beyonce, because I'm always pulling the hell out of her. You should get a check from Janet, because you hold.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Unless you're on the payroll, then you should get a check.
That would
Not
be cute to
payroll,
be on
you should
somebody's
get a check.
payroll.
It would be cute to be on somebody's payroll.
Yes.
Besides this one.
Don't do it, girl. I'm trying it. Okay. Oh, if you live in the Philadelphia area, tomorrow we will be going to do a live taping of Temple Talk. The show will air on Temple University TV. If you live in Philadelphia and you know them college access channels, it's going to air next Tuesday at 1 p.m. So if you live in Philadelphia area, check us out on Temple University TV, Temple Talk. And I'm going to record it. And I'm going to see if they can maybe send us a video so we can upload it to YouTube so you guys can check us out. And they're going to have a live audience. So if you go to Temple, see if you could be a part of that audience. And they said we could bring people too. So if you live in Philly and you want to come, let me know so I can so we could all meet up and we could all walk in together so you could be a part of the audience. This is only if you really want to go. Taping is we have to be there by 5:30, 5:45. So I'm thinking 6 o'clock. We'll try to meet up by 5:30 if you really want to go. But don't be on the BS.
Where do they have their taping at? Like, is it inside a studio that they have? Or is it like...
They sent me the letter. I mean, they sent me exactly where it's at. I gotta find it. But
so they're gonna.
It's on the campus though,
right?
Yeah.
Like talking about. I mean, I just can't remember what exactly.
Yeah, I don't know what we're talking about, but we're gonna talk about, I guess, pop culture or whatever, because it's a holiday show. So I'm not sure what the topics are, but you know, we always got an opinion. So
what is that on your thing on your hand? Is that water?
Sweat from my forehead.
It looks like water, Kevin.
I'm trying not. I didn't want to turn this up too loud because I didn't want it to be too loud on the video. But
you got a lot of towels in this room. How much do you produce a day? Release a day, I should say.
Don't do it, girlfriend.
A lot of towels in here.
I can't remember what it said. It's at 2020 North 13th Street, Annenberg Hall, Temple University, Temple TV Studio 1. So yeah, so that's what we will be tomorrow. What else has been going on? Okay, the big news story of the day. Did you hear about Charlie Sheen?
Well, can we talk about Paris first?
Oh, damn it!
I wish we would have started it off.
Damn it! You know what? Let me tell you, because I don't have notes. I'm freestyle, but it's a whole lot going on. Yes, that should have been the first. Yes. Right. Go ahead and talk. I need a break. Go ahead and talk.
Okay. All right. So this past Friday, as you all should already know, the city of Paris, France, became the focal point this weekend around the world. There were several suicide bombings and gun attacks throughout the city, terrorist attacks, that was led by the terrorist group ISIS. They said up to 130 people were killed during this attack. One of the places that had the most casualties was at a concert hall in Paris, where I think it was about 90 people were killed at that concert hall. There was an American young girl who was killed. She's from California. I don't know if there's any more Americans that were killed. I think there may have been, because I think I saw.
She's the only one.
She's the only American.
The one that I've seen.
Because I thought I saw something on 6 ABC where there was other Americans that may have been killed, but the young girl from California, Naomi, I can't think of her last name. Gonzalez. She was the one the first one that they had confirmed that was an American. She was a student over there studying. I just want to send our condolences out to the people of Paris, France, the families of the victims, the survivors of the attacks, because we over here in the United States, we know firsthand what it's like to be attacked by terrorists. As you all know, 14 years ago on September 11th, this country was attacked in New York City and in Arlington, Virginia. And so we know firsthand. I would ask that all of the folks out there that know the word of prayer to continue to pray for the victims and the survivors and their families, because it's a difficult thing when you have such a terrible act hit home. Like, we always see it on the TV, different places, but when it hits home, it's always difficult and sad. So I would ask that we continue to pray for those people. Don't pay too much attention to those naysayers on social media who are saying, why y'all doing this and why y'all doing that.
Oh my God.
Because I've come to discover that that's only the devil working through his demons. So if you continue to respond to the devil's demons, then you just become an idiot just like them. So don't even respond to people like that. People are just going to criticize everything you do. And I'm shocked that when people are praying for other people, that you got some folks over here that are criticizing you for praying for people. It's like, well, why would you criticize somebody for praying for somebody? It's just sad. And my thing is, the more people that pray, the better things will be. And so we just need more people to pray. That's all I can say. We need more people to pray. And I don't care if you're Christian, if you're Catholic, if you're Muslim. We just need everybody to pray for peace. For peace not only in Paris, not only in the United States, but peace around the world. And pray for those in Nigeria, because I know over the weekend that there was an attack over in, I think it was a school, if I'm not mistaken. Sure, but I know there was an attack over there too, and just to pray for those people as well. Pray for everybody. Pray for everybody, because we all need it. Okay?
Because everybody was on Facebook. Okay, Facebook, had to turn your face to blue, white, and red. And I mean, I seen nothing but, but y'all not even talking about when, I think it was Kenya. I'm not even sure if it was Nigeria. I'm not sure what part of Africa, what country in Africa, or what city in Africa was bombed. But they were saying that, why would you do that when, why would you post the French flag and y'all African Americans? And this is what I just told people. France is an ally to the United States of America. We should not be judged just because we're saying pray for these people in Paris. A lot of us did not even know that there was an attack going on in either Nigeria or Kenya, because I didn't know nothing about it at all. And I didn't hear about any bombings in Beirut until I seen people complaining about it on Facebook, talking about the media is just brainwashing everybody. The media is not brainwashing anybody when it comes to these attacks. Paris is a major city in this world, not just in France, in this world. It's a destination spot. A lot of us may have family members visiting over in Paris, or we have friends that we know over there that live there, or family that live there. So an attack like that in Paris, you got 3 major suicide bombings, and then you got people using machine guns, killing innocent people. Of course that is going to make the news. Of course it's going to be on 24/7. They're going to talk about it because it's a major city. It's not saying that nobody cares about what went on, but they're making people more aware of what happened in Paris.
And not only that, there were multiple attacks at one time in one city.
Yeah.
It wasn't just one suicide bombing, it was about 3 suicide bombings, and then they had gunmen throughout the city shooting up restaurants.
All at the same time.
All at the same time. So that's why Paris was such a big, like you said, a big news story, because it was happening all over the city, not just in one place. And again, like you said, I'm sorry to cut you off, but again, like you said, it's not to take away from the other places, it's just that Paris is indeed a major city, and no, we should not forget about the other places. But just because Paris is being talked about does not mean that the media is brainwashing anybody. They're talking about something that is major, because first of all, when's the last time we even heard about something of this magnitude happening in a major city like Paris, France? It hasn't happened in a while, especially in Paris. I don't know, when's the last time?
They had the shootings in Paris.
That wasn't
like
on this scale.
Yeah,
like, this was all over the city. Like, just imagine New York City being bombed, not just in Manhattan, but you got bombs in Manhattan, you got bombs over in Brooklyn, you got bombs over in Queens. It's like all over it. So this is why it was, you know, the top story on the news.
And if that still doesn't help you understand, remember that Michael Jackson and Farrah Fawcett died on the same day. Who coverage got more? Michael Jackson. And it was on all day, all over.
And some people to this day still don't even know that Farrah Fawcett died the same day as Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
But they died the same day.
But the media is going to talk more about Michael because he's more of a global icon than Farrah Fawcett, but that doesn't take away from who she is.
Right.
Yeah, or her death.
Right.
So that's just how the media works.
Right.
And if you don't like the media, then just stop watching the news. And just stop, you know, sharing your opinion and keep reading other things. And make people more aware of what's going on. You can't be mad at the media. That's how they make their dollars. And they're not going to be on TV talking about all good stuff. They're going to talk about the bad stuff. So, of course, they're not, you know how y'all complained about, they're not showing the peaceful protests. No, because that's not what the media is about. They're about showing conflict to make you care about what's going on. Or try to help you care, or, you know, just showing what's going on. And sometimes I do think that they should show a good balance of both, but of course that's not how they do it. So, yeah, let's continue to pray for the world. Stop judging people for how, you know, to where they put their prayers towards. Stop judging people for what they post. You know, worry about yourself. Worry about what you posted. Stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. If you want people to be more aware, put the word out there. Well, I know you guys are talking about, you know, Paris, but did you know that such and such happened? How about doing that instead of making an angry tweet or angry post on Facebook? So, yeah, that's all I had to say about it. But we do pray for the world, and I know that right now, France has bombed ISIS headquarters in Syria. So this is really starting to become like a big thing, and you know, the United States will be helping France with airstrikes. But you know, you got some people in Congress saying, "Well, I think that we should have people on foot there." I don't know. I really don't want to go to war. I don't want any of our Americans being killed. But at this time, you just never know what might happen next. And I just want people to, I don't want people to think that, oh, this is not going to happen. An attack will happen here. That's what people don't understand. And they're using these different cities because they're going to get to us. They're going to get to us. They're here now. They're just waiting for the perfect time to do it. I don't think people understand that. And I want people to know that it will happen here. Another attack will happen here.
Since we're talking about Syria, where, you know, ISIS, a lot of the ISIS terrorist group is, you know, located. You know, the whole Syrian refugee thing that's been going on for the past several months. There was questions of whether or not the United States would be bringing some of those refugees over here because they don't have any place to go. And after this attack over the weekend in Paris, 16 states in the United States say that Syrian refugees are not welcome here. And the reason being is because, well, the states include Alabama, Georgia, Arkansas, Michigan, Texas, and Massachusetts. The announcement The announcement is coming overwhelmingly by Republican leaders. Came after authorities revealed that at least one of the suspects believed to be involved in the Paris terrorist attacks entered Europe among the current wave of Syrian refugees.
Wow.
And so basically what these governors of these states here in the United States are saying is, listen, we are not 100% sure that we want these refugees coming into our states, because we don't want one of these refugees to happen to be an ISIS member, or and come over here, and then we let them in, and then boom, bam, something happens over here, and then people are blaming the states and the governors, and everybody is, why would you let them in here? And so they're being cautious. And I actually agree with these governors.
We could put them somewhere.
But you know what? Call me what you want. But I was in the 10th grade when 9/11 happened. And so I was old enough to know about 9/11. And I don't want another 9/11 happening in this country. So I think if we can avoid having someone slip through the cracks, then we should take all necessary actions. Because who's to say that one of us, somebody watching us, or one of us is on a plane one day, and somebody who came in here as a refugee but just happens to be a member of ISIS tries to hijack a plane. Or we in New York City having a good time and somebody straps a bomb to themselves and blows themselves up.
That, I don't even want to.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's
reality, and that's the world that we live in.
They're gonna hit time freaking straight.
That's the world that we live in. So I kind of agree, and I kind of agree with these governors when they say, "Listen, we don't want that in here." And it's nothing against the actual refugees. It's just, what they say: one bad apple spoils the bunch. It really does, and we are not sure that we want to bring them in here, because if they happen in Paris, it can happen here.
Yep, even one of the people that was a part of the attack in Paris, they stopped him at the border and they did some kind of call
and
or
they
check,
let him through.
and they still let him through because nothing came up.
And not to mention, just a few weeks ago, before these attacks, I was seeing something on the news where they were saying that after the Russian airplane that blew up a few weeks ago, that ISIS has, came out and said that they have something to do with it. But they started doing airport checks, because they're trying to figure out, how did this bomb get on this plane? It had to have been somebody.
Was it on the plane?
Oh,
they didn't shoot it down.
No, it was on the plane. They were saying it was a bomb on the plane. And they did these airport background, screenings, and they were saying, I think it was in the United States, that 96%, it was either 96% or 96 airports, whatever the case may be, but the number was 96 of the airports that were tested for these screening all failed.
Wow.
Meaning that people were able to sneak fake bombs and guns and stuff like that without the TSA catching it.
Or in our airport?
In our country. That's not good at all.
And that's not something I would want to put out there to let people know.
But they're letting them know that, because they're letting us be aware that, listen, we have to get our ish together. We have to get it together. Yeah. We just saw a few months ago, it may have been a few months ago or last year, where they did this report here in Philadelphia, where at the Philadelphia International Airport, they had police workers on the the runways in their cars sleep. And people were recording them sleep when they're supposed to be on duty, securing the airport.
A new picture just went viral of cops sleeping on the job.
So it's like, we have to be very, very, very vigilant and careful of what's going on. And I need the TSA to get it together.
Yeah, and we as a country need to get it together, because everything that's going around the world, this is a test.
Yes.
You never know. Like, it could. Maybe they don't want New York, or maybe they saying DC just to throw us off.
Yeah, they could be headed for LA or Philly. Yeah. They could be headed, but they're going to head somewhere big.
And they're going to do it at multiple that's why they're doing this at multiple times, at the same time, in different locations.
Paris was a test that those terrorists passed. They were able to do it in multiple places inside of Paris and succeed. They killed over 100 people. Over 100 people. They were able to get inside of a concert hall.
I want to know how they get in a concert with guns. Like, don't they do because I know here they do screamings, or they pat you down or something.
Well, maybe it wasn't that. Maybe it wasn't in an. I don't think it was like in an arena.
It was like a theater.
Yeah.
And you could hear the guns going off while they were in there. It was just sad.
So we need to get it together. Yeah. We need to get it together. And after these Paris attacks, I agree. No, we shouldn't be letting nobody in this country, because no telling who the hell comes in here. It's bad enough that we don't know who's already here in the first damn place. And we don't need no more terrorists coming to hell in here. We really don't.
They could be coming from Canada into the United States or coming to Mexico into the United States.
Let me tell you something. They did this special on CNN, and they were doing something about the Canadian border. And they went to this woman's house, and she lived like, I wouldn't necessarily say a wooded, well, her backyard was part of like the woods or whatever. But the guy was at her house, and he was talking to her, and the lady said, right past that chair over there is Canada. So he said, that's Canada. And she said, yeah. So he's in her backyard, and he steps, and he's where the trees are, and he's standing in Canada. Mind you, her house is on the border, and he's like, so that means that anybody could just come through this country and nobody would know. She said, oh, I've seen plenty of people come through here. She said, I've seen plenty of people come through here. You know how scary that is? And for her to say it, she said, I've seen so many people come through here, and I've called, and I've called, and I've called. They send people out, but before you know it, the Border Patrol is gone.
That's ridiculous and crazy. At the same
So no, we shouldn't get mad at these governors for saying that they don't want these people in their state. I don't blame them, because I don't want nothing bad happening in my state either.
And if we got space to house these refugees, what about the homeless people that's living in our cities?
Okay.
Come on, let's be for real.
Yeah, let's be all the way for real. Let's start with them first, because there's a lot of them.
Yep.
A lot.
If y'all can house them in schools and all the fallout shelters and things, we can do the same thing for the homeless people.
And who's paying for them to come over here?
I don't know. Taxpayers money. That's who's paying.
That's a lot. Syria's not around the corner.
I think they should put them in a special location or somewhere safe where they can be, feed them, clothe them. You know, they don't have to come here and do that. But I know that we took in refugees from Kosovo like in 98, 99, one of them years. I wonder whatever happened to them people that we took in, because that was a long time ago. I was in the 8th grade when that happened. I don't want to tell my age, but
you already did in the beginning of this video. 31.
Some of y'all might be mad about what we said about these attacks, but I am not afraid to say that I think something might happen.
I'm not afraid. I'm not ashamed to say that.
Because we got people shooting up fucking malls here.
Anybody who's upset that what I just said was not old enough to witness 9/11.
Yeah.
Anybody, because I was old enough to witness 9/11 on live television, and that wasn't no movie. That was real.
And it looked like a movie though when you kept seeing how the planes were in there, and how this is when they was really showing it. Like it looked like a movie. But I really just couldn't believe that this was going on here.
I was in New York City, October, November, December. 8 months after 9/11, I was in New York City on a class trip, and I remember we got there a tad bit early. So the bus driver took us down
to ground zero.
And by this time, it was all cleaned up. I remember they kept saying it was going to take years to clean up, but it was all cleaned up. In 8 months, it was cleaned up. And I think the week before, or 2 weeks before we actually got there, they had, got the last beam out. To drive around ground zero after they cleared it up, just to see that massive hole in the middle of this major city, it was unbelievable. And I'm not just talking about a hole where, oh, it looks like they're about to build something. I'm talking about a hole literally the size of a football field. It was so big and it was so deep, and you're like, oh my God. And just to think, this big ass space is where these buildings stood, because it was the Twin Towers and there was a few other buildings a part of the World Trade Center complex. It was like, oh my God, they really destroyed all of this. All of this they destroyed. And it was so unbelievable. It was so surreal to actually see it. And like I said, it was 8 months after the fact. So it was like, it was still fresh. It was still fresh. You had a lot of buildings down there that still had the American flag hanging on them. It was just really, really fresh. And to see that with my own eyes, I was like, wow, this was, to see it on television and then to actually be here later, it was like, this is crazy. And it actually did happen. It actually happened. People actually took it upon themselves to fly planes into a building and destroy these buildings. So no, I don't want another 9/11 to happen. I really don't. And if the government can stop terrorists from coming here, then we should be all for it. We should be all for it. Because I know for a fact that if it was George Bush allowing them people to come here, a lot of people would be very upset. Okay, and you know, President Obama. It's funny because he said the morning of the attacks on Friday, he did an interview saying that ISIS was contained, and then a few hours later, these attacks happened in Paris. And you know, his administration, they came out and said, well, no, he meant contained in Syria. Well, you know, me personally, I don't even think the president should have said that. Because, okay, you've contained them in Syria, but what about those who are outside of Syria? Never mind those in Syria. I'm worried about the ones who made it out of Syria. The ones who are in Paris. The ones who may be in London. The ones who may be in hell over here. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about the ones in Syria. I'm not worried about those. It's like if you got a bunch of mice in your house and then you are able to contain 10 of them in this one corner. Well, what about the other 15 that escaped? Because you still got a bunch of mice running around. And who wants a bunch of mice running around their damn house? Nobody. Who wants a bunch of terrorists running around? Nobody. So President Obama, I think that, you know, while I understand what you meant when you said it about containing them in Syria, I'm really not concerned about Syria. I'm concerned about what's going on outside of Syria, because these people are on their way over here if they're not already. And look at how many people from this country have already been talking about them joining ISIS. Look how many people they've discovered who were college students in this country and they went over there and they joined ISIS. American citizens.
They be finding them videos and I'm
like, it's crazy. Like, and so I say this to say that if our government can stop these people from coming over here, then we should. Because I know if it wasn't a Democrat in office like Obama, if it was a Republican, they were letting them in here, everybody would be up in arms. So we should be just as up in arms as the Republicans are about letting refugees into this country, especially if we don't know all who's coming in with them. If we don't know all who's coming in with them, then no, we should not let them in here. Because like Kevin said, they actually screened one of these terrorists before coming into Paris, and he passed, and he was able to go through. And then look what he did.
He was able to escape, and they didn't even know that, you know, that was exactly who they were looking for until after.
Until after the fact.
Yeah.
Until after the fact. And I don't want no after the facts. I don't want to get no phone call or somebody telling me, turn on the TV, look what's going on downtown in Philly, or look what's going on in Chicago. I don't want that. I don't want that. I hope another 9/11 never happens while I'm walking this earth. I hope that never ever happens again.
It really changed life and how things is done. Everything, because the goddamn TSA thing, like everywhere you go, and orange alert, red alert, this alert be on. You don't really hear about that no more, but it really changed the way we lived, because it was none of that before.
And I remember oh my God, I remember so clear, the days immediately after 9/11, when airplanes started flying back in the sky, and if his plane sounded like it was too damn low, people were like,
okay.
Like, oh, that plane, remember those days? Mm-hmm. It sounds like it's just too low, and everybody's looking up, and that's the fear that you had the days after 9. I don't know how many people are old enough to remember that, but it was scary, like, oh my God.
Yep. And when that, remember when that space thing crashed in Houston?
Oh yeah. And they thought it was a plane. It was just a lot of stuff that was happening in the days, the months, and the immediate years after 9/11 that had a lot of people on edge. I remember that plane that crashed into New York.
And right a couple of weeks after
it crashed, like I think it was like a month or two later afterwards, and it took off from one of the airports in New York, and then after takeoff it crashed into a neighborhood. It was American Airlines jet, and it crashed, and people didn't know if that was a terrorist attack. It wasn't a terrorist attack, but a lot of people 2 months after 9/11, naturally you think it was a terrorist attack. So yes, I think we need to be very cautious on who we let the hell in this country, because you never know what they have when they're coming here or what they're making when they're here. If kids can make bombs in their bedrooms, can you imagine what these grown men can make? Are you kidding me? These kids be making bombs and all that type of shit in their bedrooms, and their parents don't even be. No, they don't. So yeah, we can move on now.
Yes. That was a good fucking segment. I hope nobody skipped that, because y'all need to hear this stuff. Yeah. And Charlie Sheen. Well, there's this blind item like a couple weeks ago that was saying that there was an A-list actor who has HIV, and that, you know, a lot of people were going crazy because, you know, they wasn't sure if they had it or not, and they called him a womanizer and things like that. And I remember tweeting, and I was like, are you serious? And then today, Charlie Sheen was just trending all over Twitter, and they were saying that tomorrow morning he will be on the Today Show to discuss about this big life-changing moment. But before, you know, NBC or anybody said anything, you had TMZ, you had National Enquirer, you had all these different websites reporting that, you know, Charlie Sheen is HIV positive and he's going to discuss it. And then I was reading that he's been HIV positive for a couple years, and allegedly he was paying some of the people that he slept with not to say anything.
Oh my God.
Like, it was just crazy, and he's just known for having wild sex and having sex with strippers, and he was just doing whatever the hell he wanted to do. And I mean, we heard some crazy stories about Charlie Sheen over the years. But this is just something, to me, that's very crazy. I think if it is true that he's HIV positive, which we will find out tomorrow, I think it's not a time to tease and be like, oh, well, that's what happens. Like, yes, this is what happens when you have sex unprotected, but it's not the time to point and make jokes. I think it's a time that people should open up and, you know, really start understanding about HIV, AIDS, or any of the other STDs that, you know, that can happen to you. HIV, AIDS is a topic that a lot of people do not like to discuss. Like, you know, I remember me saying one time, like, okay, the Scorpion Show, y'all want to party with us, but then when it's a serious topic like doing the HIV/AIDS walk, nobody wants to do it because it's really a topic that people sweep under the rug. Nobody wants to talk about it. Even sometimes I don't want to talk about it. But I think that him telling his story, and if he tells it the right way, he is going to open up a lot of eyes and open up a lot of ears and about the importance of HIV and AIDS. And yes, you know, you can live a long life with HIV, but I don't think a lot of people know that because it's not being talked about. When people find out that they're HIV positive, a lot of people think that, oh, it's the end of the world. And no, it's not the end of the world, even though it may feel like that. Because, you know, that's a big bomb to be dropped on you. You know, you finding out you're HIV positive. But I think that if he is, it's just going to be great that he gets a chance to tell his story. Because the last time I heard about any celebrity being HIV positive was Magic Johnson. And you know, he is not the only celebrity with HIV. They're just not discussing it. So I'm glad that Charlie Sheen is, if it's true, that he's going to discuss that he's going to open up and discuss it. How do you feel about it?
Well, hopefully it's not true. And if it is true, then hopefully he uses his platform to, you know, educate a lot of his fans, because he has a lot of fans, a lot of young fans as well. Hopefully he uses that platform to do that. It's very unfortunate because, you know, HIV is a very serious thing, and it's not just a gay man or a gay woman's disease. Well, that's a gay man's disease, because, you know, I don't hear a lot of people ridiculing women, gay women about it. It's more so the gay men. And so HIV can happen to anyone. It can happen to whether you're gay, straight, black, white, whomever. It can happen to you. And it really is, it's sad. If it is true, it's sad. It's unfortunate because that's the last thing anybody wants to be told by their doctor that they have. That and cancer. I don't want to be told by my doctor that I have cancer or HIV. I just, you know, it's a sad thing. But at the same time, if it is true, hopefully he uses his platform to educate a lot of people, including his fans and young fans, about the disease and how they can prevent themselves from getting it. One way I know that you can prevent yourself from getting it is using a condom when you're having sex with people that you just meet.
Speak on it. I know you're looking at me.
No, I'm not looking at you. I'm looking in the camera. Stop. Wow, it's guilty conscience.
Stop. No, because I know how you be making them faces.
Well, I didn't make a face. I just looked in the camera.
Oh, go ahead. Keep going.
Stop letting people that you just met off of the internet or from the corner release their bodily fluids inside of you. Stop that. That's not cute and it's not cool.
Yep.
It's actually nasty.
It's very, and that turns me off. Some people have turned me off with the just to talk about it, because you know, like you can really like somebody. Oh my God! I'm just say it like, and they say, no, I'm not gonna say that. And the minute they let you know that they do that, it kind of turns you off. Yes. And you be thinking like, well, wait a minute, how many other people have you done this with? And I'd be like, never again. What happened? No,
Ain't nothing happened. Ain't literally nothing happened. Because we're not doing that. You want me to do what? I remember the first time somebody asked me to do that. I was so disgusted. No, I was so disgusted. I'll never forget where I was. Yeah. I'll tell you off camera where I was.
Bitch, you ain't even tell me what you supposed to tell me last time.
I never do. I always forget. But yeah, I always forget. But yeah, I'll never forget that. And I was just like, it went from excited to limp, real fast. Because I had never had someone ask me to do that to them. And I was like, girl, I don't do that. I don't know, it's nothing. I don't do that. You know what? As a matter of fact, let me pull my pants up and it's time to go. Where you going? Because I'm not staying here. Don't get me wrong. I'm very, very fun and freaky. But there is a limit to my freakiness.
And it should be. And it should be.
It is a limit. I can get freaky all the days long. But once you start asking me to do certain stuff that's
just not safe, you shouldn't do it. Like if I don't even. It's some stuff just needs to be talked about, and I'm still like no, and I'm saying the same thing. But I just think that it's important to be upfront with anybody if you have something, and let them decide if that's what they want to do. Because I've been told twice of someone's sexual status, and I made that choice to do what I wanted to do, and it was safe. And for me, like I can honestly say on this camera, and some people might say that it's crazy, but if I met someone and I really liked them and they told me their status, you know, and I really liked them, I would date them. And you, it's just that you just have to be safe. And I'm about to cry talking about this.
Why?
I've met two people. It never went anywhere, but I think they were, I don't know if they were ashamed, I don't know what, but it's like I really.
Did they tell you?
Yes.
Well, then they weren't ashamed.
Yeah.
If they told you, then there's no reason for them to be ashamed. You mean you may have thought that they probably was a little disappointed that y'all didn't go further. But if they told you, if they willingly told you, then I can't imagine why they would be ashamed. Because I had somebody, and I think I told y'all this before, I had somebody who willingly told me, because I damn sure didn't think, you know, anything. Somebody, and it wasn't even that type of party, but I think that they thought it was going to be that type of party between us, and it really wasn't, because I wasn't attracted to them in that way. But they told me, they came right out and told me that they had it, and I was like, wow. And the first thing I said was, well, thank you for telling me. And, you know, they said to me, well, you know, I hope this doesn't change. And I said, it's not going to change anything between us, you know, friendship-wise. I said, but I just need to make something very clear to you that I didn't really look at you like that anyway. So I don't want you to think, you know, and it was like, you know, I understand, you know, but I just, you know, just in case something was to happen. I said, well, you know, thank you, but, you know, I wasn't really feeling like that anyway, you know, not that type of way. But I was very shocked that they came out and told me. So then I asked them, I said, well, you know, how often do you tell people? And they said to me, they said, well, you know, I tell a lot of people that I talk to, I tell them because I think they should know. And I said, well, I agree with you. And I said, I really do thank you for letting me know that. But you do have some people out there who
are very messy.
And they won't tell you. Mm-hmm. They won't tell you nothing. Thank you, Jesus. Because just imagine if something would have happened between us and then I would have gotten involved not knowing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So thank God for Jesus, because you just never know.
Yeah, I remember one time I met somebody, sex never happened, but I met them, you know, went on a date or whatever. And then there's this flyer all over the internet that he has HIV and everything.
I hate when people do that.
Yeah, that's just very messy.
I hate when people do
It's
that.
very messy, but I still was like, well, why, why you didn't say anything?
Well, was it true?
Yeah.
And somebody put that out there.
Yeah, that's people on the internet. They still do a lot of messy stuff on their computer and post things and say things about people. But it shouldn't be. You shouldn't be judging people. You should be loving people more. And but of course that sounds all like in a perfect world. But it's always going to be messy people. Or you might share your status with somebody, and if things don't work out, somebody be messy and just post it all over the computer. Like I've seen that recently, but the person was like, that's not going to stop me from living. Like, okay, you put it out there.
There's some very, very mean-spirited people.
Yeah, so I can understand why people don't want to tell their status. But if you are going to have sex with someone and you are HIV positive, or if you have any other diseases, I think that you should tell and give that person the choice. So yeah, but of course nobody wants to hear that about Charlie Sheen. But if it's true, he'll get a chance to really tell his story tomorrow, and a lot of people will be watching today's show
to hear what he has
to say. Because I'm definitely going to be watching tomorrow.
Can I just say something real quick?
Sure.
Follow me on Instagram at Makael86. That's MAKAEL86. And also, if you're looking for Uber rides, you can sign up for Uber. You can sign up for Uber using my promo code. That is Makael M. That's MAKAEL86. M. No, M. Makael M. MAKAEL M. Sign up for Uber today using that promo code and get your first ride for free.
Up to $20.
No, they changed it to 15 now. Oh,
what?
Uber said no. You won't be getting.
Oh no! They are really trying it.
They brought it down to 15. Oh, you must have seen the update.
No.
Yeah, you got to update it. It's $15 now. They brought it down, honey.
Well, my rides for the next 3 months is still up to $20.
Yeah, but I think it's starting next year is when it becomes.
$15.
$15.
Oh, but everybody use our codes.
Yeah. But make sure you use my code Makael M.
I'm not gonna be going nowhere like that anyway.
M. And
yeah, because after my birthday,
get your first ride for free on me, and you can hit me up on Twitter or Instagram saying thank you, Makael, for that free ride. Yeah. Okay. And if you don't use it, you can pass it along to your friends and family.
You never know who might need it.
Sign up to Uber using that code. Okay.
And if you forget his code, you can contact me, and then I'll let you know.
Oh, but you won't forget my code because you'll hit me up and say what's your code, and I'll say it's Makael M. MAKAEL M.
Y'all get a big.
And if you can't hit me up on YouTube because I don't be on here, you can hit me up on my Twitter or on Instagram. And better to hit me up on Instagram because I occasionally go on Twitter. Now I remember the days when I used to always go on Twitter. Now I'm on Instagram. Okay, my Twitter and Instagram are the same names, Makael86.
You're Kevin S33 what else has been going on? Let me go back to these notes right quick. I had a bunch of topics. Khloe Kardashian joking on Ellen about being a polygamist, for being married to Lamar and being the girlfriend of James Harden. She was saying she left a post on the Shade Room saying that she was really joking. And it came out as a joke, but she regrets saying that, and she feel bad about saying all that stuff. You know what, y'all? Honestly, I don't care. I do think she looked great on Ellen because I did watch some of the interview. Actually, on Ellen, she has this new book out, and everybody in Ellen's audience got the book. And I don't know. It's weird for her right now, and I think she's doing what she has to do when it comes to Lamar Odom, because I think it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Because people say, oh, she's only there because he's in a hospital. Then if she didn't go to the hospital, she's just so cold because she didn't even go to the hospital and that's her husband and all this and that.
Can I say something?
Sure.
For those folks that are saying, well, she's only there because she's in the hospital, she should be there because she's in the hospital. If she loves him, and I'm not talking about loved him as in, that's my husband, loved him as a friend. If that's her friend, that she is somebody that she really loves, then yes, you should be there in their time of need. So why criticize her for being there for Lamar when that's what she's supposed to do, whether she's married to him or not? That's her friend. if your friend was in the hospital, your loved one or whatever, you love them, and they were in the hospital, they were sick, you know, possibly on their deathbed, I'm sure you would be there too. You know, if I had a fight with somebody and I got a call saying that they were on their deathbed and something happened, I would totally forget about the fight and I would be there for them. Because the love of my friend overshadows any fight that I've ever had with them. So anybody criticizing her for being there for Lamar in his time of need, just wait until you are on your bed of affliction, and we'll see how many people show up for you.
Go on. You better hit them with, what's your pastor's name? Pastor Fleming.
You know what I mean?
Go off.
It makes no sense. If, you know, if he needs you, then that's what you're supposed to do, right?
Yes, you hit the... I don't think they heard you, though.
Why would you ever let a fight overshadow your friendship or your love for someone when you say, oh, well, she's only there because she should be there. That's somebody that she loves, whether she's married to him or not. She should be there. That's her friend. She should definitely be there. So I don't understand. I just don't understand. And to this day, I'll say this again. This is why I rarely respond back to some people, because they say the most idiotic things, and you be like, why would you even say that? Why? Why? I'm happy that Khloe Kardashian, first and foremost, I'm happy that she put all that aside when he did go to the hospital. I'm glad that she put all that aside and she was there by his side. Because some bitter would have not. They would have just been mad. Oh, I'm not with him anyway. You know, we get the divorce anyway, so I'm not going to be there. I'm glad she put all that aside and said, you know what, I'm putting this aside and I'm going to go there and I'm going to be there for you. Because that's what you do.
Yeah, I think it would have been easy if they would have both got the divorce a long time ago, because they both been doing what they wanted to do for the past couple of years, and they still married.
Well, you know, divorces is hard. You know, you got to go through all this stuff. You know, divorce is not something where you can just go to the courthouse and say, oh, I want a divorce. You know, you got to go through some things. You got to find out who's going to keep what, who's going to take what, who's, you know, what does what belong to, what doesn't what belong to. It's a process. Yeah, it's a process. So divorce isn't as easy as it sounds. You know, it's not easy at all. So, you know, it may have been a reason why, and it may also be a reason why some people don't get divorces, but they just separate. Because who wants to go through that agony? Still, me personally, I still think that you should get a divorce and rather than separating. Because why the hell would you be separated from somebody for 15 damn years? What the fuck is going on? Y'all both moved on with your life. When are you getting a divorce? You know what I mean? Like, come on. After 15 years and you're still separated? Hello, it's time to get a divorce. What the fuck was going on in this house? That's how I feel. No, I don't want to be separated.
And Wendy Williams, you tried Missy Elliott. I think you have a hate relationship with all the, you know, all the people that might have been big in the 80s and 90s and come back with new music. You always say that, oh, nobody's interested in that, nobody wants to buy it. Like, she went in on Missy Elliott, talking about, oh, Missy's trying to appeal to the kids, and she don't think that Missy's going to sell in 2015. But Missy has one of the top 5 songs on iTunes, and is still within the top 10 on iTunes. She has over 10 million video views in 3 days. So I think that that's really saying something about Missy Elliott, and you shouldn't be so fast to even talk about it. Missy Elliott been doing futuristic shit before that was even thought of, and it fit in perfectly right in today with all the old shit that she did. So Wendy, I think you should stop putting people down. Like, I was so mad when I was listening to Wendy talk like that.
And you know what's so funny? Because when Missy proves her wrong, she's not going to come out and say, oh, she was proven wrong.
Yeah. She never does. Never does.
It's almost as if she never even said it. Because she don't even go back to say it. She's like, so what was the audience saying? I bet you they was agreeing.
Yeah, clapping and because that's what she always did.
Because they got them. What Kim Fields say? Oh, you got a hype man. Did y'all see that video where Kim Fields told her, oh, you have a hype man? And Wendy was shocked, and she said, oh yeah, that's her husband. And Kim Fields was like, ah. You're gonna find a video. It's very funny. It's very funny.
Yes,
and it caught Wendy off guard. Like, what do you mean I have a hype man? And Kim said, yeah, you got a hype man over there. Because the lady over there must have been telling people.
Yeah, that's Suzanne.
And Kim said, oh, you got a hype man. And Wendy said, yeah, that's her husband right there. She said, ah, yeah.
And Wendy always be trying to tell us they not to tell the audience to clap.
Yeah.
No, bitch, they clap because they want to agree with you.
Yeah, because Suzanne wants the audience to agree with you, and no. Because if I was sitting in the audience, I think I probably would have said something like, no, I don't agree with that. Yeah. I don't agree. I'd have been just like that. I don't agree. And they'd have probably kicked me out, like, you gotta go. And she'd have really been sitting looking stupid. They'd have kicked me out by the next commercial break, my seat would have been empty. Yeah, it would have been empty. They'd have kicked me right on now. Are you kidding me?
So Wendy, don't do that, because you said the same shit. Who wants to buy Janet's album, and nobody's gonna go to the tour unless she's in Vegas, and bitch, she's selling out tours, and she had a #1 album, and she still has a well, probably not #1 anymore on the R&B songs, and her album been still in the top 5 of the R&B chart. So I think Janet is doing great, and she's on Riot about to go to Japan. Shout out to the Japanese, and shout out to the Hawaiian people that's going to see our girl Janet, because she performed a new song on the album. So yeah. So Wendy, stop it. Stop. Just support these people. And how about inviting them to your damn couch? Instead of just saying, oh no, they're talking about, oh, I just say it like I mean it here on Wendy and all this. Then no, bitch, now you make an excuse for being messy. If you want to say it like you mean it, don't make an excuse on why you say
Wendy Williams. You know what? Every generation needs their Wendy Williams. And Wendy Williams is our messy person. You know, they had Luella Parsons and Hedda Hopper in the 40s and 50s. And Wendy Williams is a modern day version of them. She's just messy, you know? She's just messy, messy, messy. And, you know, if we didn't have Wendy, who would we have? Because you know how I feel about Wendy Williams, but at the same time, it's like, who would we have if we didn't have her?
But you know what? I'm ready. You know what I'm ready for? Because I don't even want to say it on camera, but I'm ready for...
I ain't hear nothing you said. But you know what? I had that. Well, see, you was a fan of hers. I wasn't a fan of hers. I'm looking for somebody like it's unfortunate. It really is, because you know how I felt about Oprah. Like, Oprah was my girl.
Oh, that's the show. You kind of talk show format. You want bad.
Yeah, because Oprah talked about everything. She talked about everything. And Oprah had everybody on her show, from the biggest names to the smallest people that you've never heard of in your life. She had them on her show. And I mean, Oprah would talk about stories that you never heard of, and sometimes you wish you never heard of because they were so sad and they were so unfortunate. But Oprah really was that person that I really, really enjoyed watching. I mean, I used to rush home, and I couldn't wait until 4 o'clock for Oprah to come on, because that's what time she came on here in Philly. At 4 o'clock. And I mean, I would sit and watch. To this day, I'm about to start crying. Look, I'm about to become like you. To this day, because we just pulled it up again the other day, I showed one of the secretaries at my job. To this day, out of Oprah's 25 years on television, and out of all those years that I've been watching, not all 25 years, but out of all the years that I was watching Oprah, I can honestly say that the Whitney Houston interview from 2009 is by far my favorite all-time Oprah interview. My favorite. And when I tell you I can watch that interview, I can watch it this month, and by January, February, I'm watching it all over again like I never saw it. I have seen that interview so many times. I remember when it first aired. In 2009. And it was so crazy because at that time I was working at Hub, and I got off at 4:30. Okay? And so you know what I had to do? I had to wait because it got off. I got off at 4:30, so by the time I got home, Oprah was already off. So I had to stay up and wait until 12 midnight.
And when Channel 6 they repeat. Yes.
What? And you know what happened? Because I had to be to work at 8 o'clock that next morning. I would go to work tired because I was up watching Oprah. I loved Oprah, and I'm telling you, that Whitney Houston interview, if you have not seen it, you don't know what I'm talking about, the Oprah Whitney Houston interview, her last major interview in 2009, when she just talked about everything with Oprah, and that was the same interview that Wendy Williams said Whitney was lying in. Remember, she got on her show and said, oh, Whitney, you're lying, because you're so, come to find out, you know, she was still on the drugs, and Wendy was not right. But still, Wendy shouldn't did it the way she did it. I mean, I will get to it.
Because she said, I'm an addict, and I know what addicts like.
Hey, listen.
And she's like, she's not over it, because look how big her eyes got when she started talking about the drugs and all this and that.
Well, you know, right. And I'm not an addict. So at that time, I didn't know that Wendy was right. I thought that she was hating. But she was right. Because, you know, when they came out with the autopsies, it came out that Whitney had a lot of that shit still in her damn system, including cocaine and marijuana. You know what I mean? So, but it's unfortunate. But like I said, I miss shows like that. We don't have shows like Oprah. We really don't. No. And it's the reason why she was #1 for 25 years.
And she beat, what's his name?
Phil Donahue.
Yeah, but she was just on Chicago.
Yeah.
As a local damn AM channel.
And Phil Donahue was huge in the 80s. Huge. But then here comes this black woman, this fat black woman, because she was fat at the time, she really was. This fat black woman come along and knock this powerful white guy, old white, middle-aged white guy off of television who was very popular, just knock him off his #1 spot. And Oprah said, okay, it was, you know, thank you for your services, but now I'm here. And she was there for 25 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she interviewed every body.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me check and see how much camera.
Except for me. She didn't interview me.
Oh, it's not too late. You can always be on Next Chapter.
Yeah, I could always be on Next Chapter. I better be on that and not Unsung.
And The Rock was on Next Chapter, but I missed it. Because I was watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta last night.
And speaking of that.
Yeah, let me just say, I'm tired of y'all 1 week, Sheree's Candy's friend, then the next week she's a friend of somebody else. Like, give her back her peach. And let her rebuild who she is on the show. Kenya shading everybody, it's not going to save this show to me. So she can throw shade at Phaedra, she can throw shade at Apollo, she can throw shade at Sheree. Everybody. She did get Phaedra.
Shut up, Phaedra. Don't change the locks. Shut up, Phaedra. I said yes. Shut up, Phaedra. She said, shut up, Phaedra.
She tried her.
She tried her and succeeded. Because I was, yes, shut up, Phaedra. Because what are you talking about?
Yeah, but it's not going to be enough to help this show survive. Even Cynthia and Peter, it's not going to be. We need a good fight.
From all of them.
Yes.
Need all of them.
Yes, and like in the next week.
All of them. Everybody's
a good fight. Because right now it's like, and it's not, and it has nothing to do with Nene. Right now it's just like, y'all are not picking up the pace from last week. It slowed it down. Because, bitch, I like to see Portia and her thoughtness, but to make that a big part of the show, nobody cares.
Why you ain't tell me that her man was caught up with a transsexual?
I didn't know nothing about that. And I still don't think that's true. I think that, sometimes...
Well, if there was a transgender, I mean, she was sitting on his lap.
Yeah, but sometimes he probably didn't know. Because they do it all the time. Shut up, Kevin. Shut up, because you might... But sometimes people don't reveal themselves. And then I say, oh, they took a picture with them and say, oh, I did something with so-and-so, but they didn't really do a goddamn... It's like, we're gonna call her. and then nothing. And then nothing, but they say, oh, we did this. All because they took a picture. And people, y'all fall for it all the time. Y'all be like, oh, well, he took a picture with her, so that means he's gay. No, it does not mean a damn thing. He just took a picture. And I think 50 Cent took a picture with the transgender.
He did.
And
Young Bucks did all on the picture.
Yes. Did you see that?
But 50 Cent, I applaud him for that because that was a fan.
He had no choice but to.
Yeah, that was a fan. And 50 said, I'm comfortable in Mox game because I know when I go home, Vivica's going to eat this ass.
Woo! I couldn't really get it out, but I got it. So, yeah, that's not going to be enough. But you know what? Portia's family is right.
No. You got Vivica at home eating.
And whoever else. These girls do anything for that woman. And I'm not trying to throw shade, but come on. The corner's right. Hey. It could take me off Burke Street, you never know.
What about Ghost from Bible?
On everything. Shut up! Everything! Everything. Woo! Everything.
Bonnie from my job said, what? I would do everything. I said, Bonnie, stop that. You a white girl.
What?
White girl. She said, I would do everything that goes. I said, would you? She said, yes.
Woo! Yes. But you got to see the old movies like when he wasn't really big and you just see him and just be like, oh my God, that's such and such. So yeah. But Portia's family, y'all right.
Portia's mom
I love her mom.
I love her mom. I mean, I've loved Shaka Khan for years because when she used to do that song, ain't nobody. But her sister, she sounded a little jealous when she found out her sister was pregnant.
Yeah, and that's why. But her sister didn't want to say anything that, you know, and I applaud Lauren for not doing that. She didn't want to take away from the moment, but she eventually had to say
because she was
what was going on. Yeah, that was just, you know. But yeah, Portia still was acting like, well, maybe it'll change her mind about how she feel about my man. No. Right. She can see right through it. You young and dumb. He wants to have fun.
Right.
And right now, that's what she needs.
Good.
Yeah, he's a jump start for Portia, but that's not what she needs. But right now, she might need that upstart. You know, get a swift kick in her.
Yeah, hey.
She'd be more happier. And she might turn another man.
Because I might need a damn jump start too. Jump start, I need a damn jump. Fuck a start.
Just DM him. Just slide up in that DM on Instagram. Show him what can upstart.
Who?
Just, I'll just crack my neck doing it. Y'all know y'all do it.
I ain't been.
Cause y'all is nasty on Snapchat. You see that Snapchat?
No, I don't get on there. I don't get on there. I ain't been jump starting since.
That Snapchat is
I need to be jumping something before I start.
let them jump on somebody's horse. Giddy up, giddy up.
No.
Come on, rude boy, can you get it up? So you
don't ever believe me when they plug me. I'm like, no.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I'm a virgin. For the past,
couple years.
5 years, couple years. No.
And it ain't nothing wrong.
There's nothing wrong with that. People say, oh, you're lying. No, why would I lie about that?
That don't mean that you don't have relations.
It don't mean I don't have relations. There you go.
But you know
But
they doing something.
But we're not going all the way to.
We can go
all the way. We're going to the middle of the block. We're not going to the stop sign.
But as long as you can get there.
Means we together. That means we done made it all the way.
But is it oil coming out?
I don't know.
He wasn't ready! Listen.
Ain't nothing coming out. Okay.
I don't know what. Oh!
But no.
So no liquids at the end. Oh, back to Kim Phil. So Kim Phil's is on the show now, and Kenya's like, oh, we're gonna work together. Kim, don't do it, okay? Kenya try to use anybody that got a little bit of Hollywood flair. Whatever happened to the guy that everybody was screwing? That was with Tyler Perry.
What's his name? Roger Bob.
Roger Bob. I'm dating Roger Bob. No, I wouldn't either. No, because he ain't got the coin.
He
got coin, but he ain't the one with the coin. No. So.
Who's Roger Bob, Portia's boyfriend?
Portia's boyfriend. Because I need a jump start.
You didn't get one while you were in LA?
No! Y'all do too much. Some girl was like, wait a minute. I'll tell you off camera, because she really tried it on Halloween. She really tried it. But yeah.
She read your card.
She tried
She read your card.
She tried to pull that card.
Miss Cleo.
So hard.
Miss Cleo. Caller, are you there?
Yeah.
Miss Cleo, are you there?
Yes, she's like, call me now for your meeting.
Are you there, caller?
She's
no, I ain't
in the hallway.
I see you have a love match coming back in your life.
See, them readings I don't believe. I do believe in psychic abilities, but I don't believe in Miss Cleo.
Miss Cleo was something else. And that wasn't her name.
No, she was saying a regular name.
Yeah, she wasn't from Jamaica.
No,
she was from, like,
and she's a lesbian in the regular
Well, I don't care what you do.
I'm just saying.
It's not my business.
I'm just saying. They
They
pull her cards all the way out.
They said that she used to be on the set of Ghost.
I still have to watch that movie in full. Because I like the clips I said. No, I heard you.
You never saw Ghost?
No. I've seen some of it. Of course, everybody knows the scene where they're playing with the little thing. He's helping her and she start crying, right?
What? Oh, the penny?
No, ain't there's a scene when they take the mud and they're playing with it.
Oh, yeah. No, but I thought he was alive when they did that scene. Yeah, when she was making the
I
pie.
thought he was dead.
Oh, I can't remember. I thought he was alive. But I know the scene on Ghost when the penny situation, and he put the penny on the door, and then he brought it over to her.
Back to yeah. So Kim feels her husband. I know everybody's gonna say he's gay, but every man is not the most masculine man. If he's with her and they have their children, let them be happy. But I'm sure it's gonna be a part of the storyline. I bet you. And yeah, I like seeing Kim with her kids and stuff. But Kim, if you want to be on this reality show, you're gonna have to get in with everybody else. Get down and dirty. You can't be coming in here like, oh, I don't do that, and I don't put my hands there. No. You got to get down and dirty with these girls and tell Kenya, fuck no, I'm not going to be working with you. I'm not interested in your pilot. Let her know. Tell her from the start. Phaedra and Candy. This is my thing. Y'all both need to be honest with each other about everything. Okay, because if you don't talk, one person's going to feel this way and one person's going to feel that way. And of course, because you're on this show, they're always going to talk to other people about what's going on. And I do think that Candy holds a lot back from Phaedra at the same time as Phaedra holding stuff back from Candy. But Candy is the one making it seem like you the one with the issue, I don't have an issue. Y'all both have an issue because it shouldn't be like that if y'all were so close. And I'm glad you had a chance to talk it out and everything, but I don't agree with Don Juan just telling Candy all that stuff.
He needs to mind his business and find a bigger shirt, because this shirt was the size of this one I got on.
I think Don Juan needs to mind his business. Because that was not his battle. Yeah, let them work on that, and don't cloud her mind, especially a pregnant woman's mind, with all of these different thoughts, because she can go through all different kinds of mood swings and be like, oh, maybe Don Juan, maybe he was right and everything. Like, I just didn't agree with that at all, with him convincing, because Phaedra has been going through so much, and sometimes when you're going through things, you don't want to talk to other people, or you don't reach out to other people. You expect for them to reach out to you, and then you might be one of them people like Candy that's just like, well, maybe I should just keep my distance right now. But sometimes they do need you to be there, or you can always send a simple text, you know, I know you're going through what you're going through and I'm here for you, but I want, you know, or let them know what's going on, update or something. So this way y'all wouldn't have these conflicts. So, yeah, but I need the housewives to pick it up. Something now, y'all got to do something now, because I found myself halfway asleep through this damn show. So y'all gonna have to pick up the drama. And that's just how I feel about the housewives. It was just, we can't be doing filler episodes already, and I can see that camera's about to stop. So we're gonna go. You guys have a great week. We'll see y'all later. Peace. Good. Don't do it.